are listening to Nocturnal Frequency Radio, hosted by Steve Jenny and his satanic assistant, Alex Houdini, both of whom can't go into churches without vomiting.
And that you are. We're back. It's been a long time. This is the first show of 2026, and Todd, usually that scares the guests off. I'm sorry if that scares you. I'm sorry. I'm really...
A lot of fun.
Our good friend, the other side, David Ferrant of the Highgate Vampire scenario. Voice that. But anyways, welcome folks to Nocturnal Frequency Radio here live on our YouTube channel. Man, I must say I'm really excited to have our guest this evening, Todd Bates. I mean, it's been a long time coming. I know I've been following Todd for years, Todd.
Yeah, it's been a while, Steve. It's been a while for sure.
Yeah.
What a ride though, man. My God. It goes by so fast.
Yeah. It's just amazing. Like I said, I remember hearing you for the very first time, obviously on, Ed Kraft's, Dr. Ed Kraft's,
wow,
Magic. What was
Magic
it?
Mind Radio.
Minds Radio.
Yep.
And then,
Mind.
of course, when you started doing Haunted Voices Radio, I remember listening to that religiously. In fact, I remember before starting this show, and I was producing a show called Full Moon Radio with Laura Moon. I'm not sure if you're familiar with
Laura
that.
Moon. That sounds real familiar.
Yeah, and then it became the Laura Moon Show. That was 2002 to 2000. I don't know, but anyways, it's when I was in that phase, I was listening to all sorts of paranormal based radio and podcast, and and again, like I said, I stumbled upon Ed Kraft show, and then Haunted Voice. I mean, when did you start? When did Haunted Voices
Haunted Voices came about? I was co-editor of a magazine called Haunted Times. Yeah, and worked with Chris Moon for years. Then he basically transferred the magazine over to new ownership, and I said, okay, well, that worked out great because now I can work on Haunted Voices. And that's how it started, was through that. I was going to do it with the magazine in conjunction with it, but now it could be its own separate entity. So I built it to help everyone out there, because when I first started this, there was no information about electronic voice phenomena. I mean, it's tough. Yeah, you'd have to go to libraries. You would have to sit down and read a book.
Remember that grassroots reading a book.
Yes. So I wanted a place where people could learn, people could gather, a safe community. Back then they had forums. They still have them today, but they're not as popular. No. So I built a forum. I built a little chat room on there so we could gather, and I was teaching people EVP lessons on there for free, and everybody was putting in their input. Hey, try this. Let's try this. And it was this really cool community. Well, Haunted Voices developed radio because there was such a demand for it that the chat server could only handle so many people. So people were having to wait to get in. So that's when I discovered some audio servers and bought a few of them back then, and started the podcast Haunted Voices so I could reach more people and teach them more about electronic voice phenomena. Well, that's how the whole thing was born, and it ran for a couple decades, a long time. I put it to bed a couple of years ago. It went in a direction I didn't want it to go, is what happened. So I basically, it's not dead. It's been rebranded into EVP Explorations. It's just a rebranding, same concept, but better technology with today's good stuff that they have out there. So that's how it all came about, every bit of it.
So we have a listener who said he signed up for your free courses on your
James.
site. We'll be starting soon.
Friday House, James.
Oh yeah, hey James.
EVPs. Now, where did that all begin for you? I mean, EVPs of all things in the paranormal. Why EVPs?
Well, I was skeptical at first. I didn't believe in any of this.
Yeah.
And I had talked to a local friend named Jason Snyder, and he had a local investigation team. So he invited me on one of his ghost tours. So I kind of took advantage of it. And I said, well, he says, yeah, you could take pictures. You can run the camera. But, he preferred EVP audio. So I said, and that interested me, communication, because I've always been interested in communication.
Yep.
And I said, what's this all about? He says, well, you use this cassette recorder. Back then, digital recorders haven't even come out yet. And he said, you use this cassette recorder, you ask a few questions, or just let it record. And it picks up spirit voices at times. We don't know how. No one knows how or why. So I said, okay, I want to do this. This sounds like my thing. So I got the cassette recorder. I got the external microphone that you must have with it, of course, because of the gear noise. The external microphone and a computer software program called Cool Edit back then.
I remember Cool Edit.
Back when it was good. Yeah. Before Adobe took it over.
Oh yeah.
But I had those tools and a patch cable and a long audio patch cable, and I was ready to go. That's all you need to get started. So I went on this tour, and it was of an old general store where a murder took place. It was pretty crazy scene. So I went to the general store, and everybody's taking photographs and things, flashing and everything at the general store. I go past the entire crowd of people. I'm not really people-y. I never have been. And so I go right past them, and this old barn was sitting back there, had a log pile. So I climb up top the log pile, have a seat, set up my equipment there, and just started asking questions. Didn't hear anything, nothing at all. I go back, upload it to the computer, and I'm listening to the raw real-time audio. It takes a while.
Yeah.
I'm listening to that, and I hear like a stomp. It's a stomping noise, and then like a horse. And I was completely blown away. I flew up out of my chair. How in the world did this get on here? And it's so clear. I didn't hear this. This is insane. How did this happen? So, I talked to Jason about it. He goes, yeah. He said, that's an EVP of an animal. He said, it's residual. I said, yeah. I said, this has to be, there has to be a way that they imprint themselves on here. I don't know if it's magnetic, static electricity, I don't know. But they find their way on there. And that is what hooked me, is I was more fascinated by why didn't I hear that at the time when it was recorded? Yeah. Because there was no external noise. I'm in a barn. There's nothing but, it was in the middle of the night, so it was very quiet, out in the middle of nowhere. There's no external noise, no cars passing, nothing. And this comes about, and I became obsessed with it. I really did. And I was grasping at every piece of information I could get on electronic voice phenomena, on spirit voices, on communication, spirit communication, ITC even back then was light, but it was there. And that's when I came across Sarah Estep. Her and I connected, and she was my savior in this field because I knew nothing. Sure, Jason knew some info, but he's just a busy guy, just didn't want to take the time. Sarah did. She took me under her wing, and she explained all of this, the classification system, what to listen for, what questions to ask, why to ask them, all these different things. And having that info, I felt more confident going out in the field. And I think my results increased because I slightly educated myself on the entire thing. If you go out there blind, well, you're not going to know what to listen for. You're not going to know what to ask, really. So your intention has to be good. It has to be proper to get out there. So, it's tough. It's a tough field to get into. But out of all of them, guys, that's what I chose because to me, it was the most interesting. Photography, I've seen a few I can't explain, but most of them can be. Most of them are dust, or most of them are reflections, or it's just audio. It's harder to write that off. It's too complex, especially when it's right there. It's more tangible, I think, than a photograph would be. It's because you can see the signature. Now, you can see the EXIF data of a photo, but that doesn't tell you what that is in the photo. See, in audio, it tells you what that is in the audio, what that's supposed to be. So it's more matter of fact. But it's don't let that fool you. There's some people that are great photographers, great videographers that are fantastic with it. It's just not for me. For me, it was audio.
Yeah, I've always been of the same mind with the paranormal.
Oh, I can't hear you, Steve.
Oh, you can't hear me?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Oh.
Yeah, you're just cut out.
I can't hear you either, Alex.
Oh.
You want me to go out and come back in? Can you guys hear me?
Hold on, let's see. Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you. Uh-oh. You cut out. Hold on. Let's see here.
Okay. Yeah, I just can't hear you guys. Let me pop out and back in again. We'll try that, okay? Because I can't hear you. I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah, weird. That is weird.
It's weird how we're talking about EVPs and this sort of happens, right?
I know. I mean, the audience can hear Todd as well. We could hear Todd, but
yeah, we could hear him. He just can't hear us for some reason.
Can't hear us, which is weird.
And I mean,
it maybe, it cut out. His audio is registering. Can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you great now.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm using a different browser this time, and that's probably what it is. I'm sure it's on my end. So
yeah, no, everyone was able to hear you. Just that was weird, and your audio was registering, so that was kind of
it was strange. I wasn't able to hear you guys.
Strange, exactly.
And it's funny how we're talking about this kind of stuff right now, right?
Wait, I'm hearing a faint voice. That's an EVP.
So actually, I have a question, Steve.
Yeah.
So you've been at this for a long time now, Todd. So what's your personal take on what EVPs are?
Ooh, that's a great question. Personally, I mean, in a nutshell, they're disembodied voices. What I think they are, one of two things. I've captured several more on magnetic tape than I have digital. I think there's something to do with the magnetism, perhaps, of the tape crossing the head. They're able to imprint that way, or the static electricity it generates because of it. But to have one, what they consist of is, of course, is beyond unknown. But I think they get in different ways, and also it goes deep as well into the mind, telekinesis. There's thought projection. There's so much that goes into an open session like that. When you are in an EVP session, a true EVP session, one that you have properly opened, everything around you becomes extreme, very sensitive, if you're paying attention to it. Mm-hmm. So it's what you pay attention to during the session. And that's why it's important to verbally note all these different things you hear. That way you don't
confuse them.
Yeah, the biggest thing that I see, and I get a lot of EVP captures sent to me for analysis, for review, for opinion. Mm-hmm. And the biggest thing out there are false positives in all these. There's so many of them. And it's something that can be easily remedied by just saying note car, note dog, note stomach growling. That's going to avoid so much in the end. And it's taking those little steps with your data. Just go the extra mile with it. Do the extra work before you put it out there, especially today, because they're terrible folks. They're going to butcher it. They're going to butcher you. They're going to troll you for days. Mm-hmm. They're going to call you a fraud. You've got to get thick skin. And social media with the paranormal, it started out as a great concept. It really did.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, people are more worried about followers and film crews than they are the actual reason of being in this field. So be careful with what you watch, what you see on social media, and what they say. Don't worry about it. Blow it off. Blow it off. Because you know what, folks? They weren't there. If you heard that and you captured that EVP, it's not your job to prove to anybody that that is a ghost. It's not your job. It's usually a personal experience a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
You may hear something different, and that's okay. Everybody's brains process audio differently. Brains are simple like that when it comes to audio. One thing at a time. That's all I can do. That's why we hear that white noise. There's millions of different sounds in there. We just hear one. So, it's you got to take it for what it's worth, and it is a lot of work. Electronic voice phenomena, it's a craft, as I call it. It's something that you develop over time. Education. You must educate yourself at least a little bit before you go out there. Don't just run out there. You're going to burn out too fast.
Well, one thing you mentioned, I think, is still very important. It was very important when I was learning, and that's the classification system. And Todd, I don't know about you, but I think today that is all but fallen to the wayside.
Oh,
I don't think anybody ever pays attention to that anymore, and it's really a crime.
It's sad. See, the pioneers is they're being forgotten about, and in this field, you never ever forget where you came from. You can't because you're a part of it. They're a part of it. They kept it simple. All of this came about before social media. Social media ruined everything. It really did. The classification system, my producer Mark and I were just talking about this the other day, and it was, Sarah Estep designed that, the ABC system. It's simple. She was a teacher. It's very simple. ABC. A, great audio. It's audible. It's understandable. A class B, not so much. A class C, delicate whispers, and so forth. A simple classification system that we should still be using to this day. Most are creating their own. Class X's, class Z's. They are complicating the hell out of the system to make it sound more scientific, which keep the science out of this stuff. They don't mix science and especially electronic voice phenomena. They do not mix. There is no scientific way it happens. It just happens. So you can try to explain it and throw science and quantum physics and all this stuff in the mix. All you're doing is complicating it because it's something extremely natural, extremely simple, I believe. And we're just overlooking it and overcomplicating it. It's consistency at the end of the day.
And adding to that, I find, again, it fallen by the wayside, in due part to the overfiltering. The overfiltering. I can't believe the amount of overfiltering.
Yeah.
And now you have people playing it, getting
They're terrible, Steve.
AI getting involved, and you're creating something out of nothing. That's it's a shame, and it's horrible.
It is god awful. And I blame that. Okay, folks, understand these programs you use, Adobe Audition, Audacity, WavePad, all of these were created for music, not this. So they have music filters. If you do a noise reduction on an album, you're reducing hiss, you're reducing reverb, all kinds of stuff. You do that on an EVP, you're killing it. You are murdering it right before your own eyes.
Yeah.
Because you're taking away from what needs to be within. Less is more. You want to use those tools, those software tools, to amplify, That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
Amplify, catalog, tag, look for discrepancies, use your spectral views in there as well. Look for those things. Look for Hertz levels. That's what you're using the program for. You go in there, you do a noise reduction. You go in there and start playing with the equalizers and so forth. You're altering that file. You are taking away its integrity and its credibility. Therefore, pardon my French, it becomes shit. So don't do it.
I agree.
Just don't do it. Less is more with it. Less is more.
You ever thought
in
about
my opinion?
Have you ever thought about using like tone generators?
I've used the NCH tone generator, actually.
Have you? Have you had success with it?
I have. I've had great success. I did a lot of those experimentations at the Sally House with those tones. And the NCH was my favorite. That was the fastest. And I also used Audition to generate some tones and noises as well. Several different noises. And I got the best results out of pink noise out there at the Sally House. Over white noise, brown noise, all those. It was green noise. I tried that one too. And then I tried mixing different noises, and that seemed to upset them. You know how when you walk into a room and there's a lot of tension, you can just feel the tension? That's what these different noises created. And a guy named Michael Esposito and I developed these noises.
Michael Esposito. Oh, I love Michael Esposito. He's a good friend of ours.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him in a long time.
Oh, wow. Okay. As soon as you said the Sally House, I go, Todd, I know Todd must know Michael Esposito. Come on.
My goodness, yes. I worked with him for years.
Actually, I do remember him mentioning him working with you. I do remember that now that you said that.
Him and I worked together on the tones and noises, and we put them onto disc. That was back when the CD burners first came out.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Just throw them in there. It was great. And we made them. And he says, wow, we should sell these for like $5-10. So now, whatever you want to do, Michael. So, have fun with it. I just want the noise, man. Give me the noise. So, and he would create some on his Audition we would use, and I would mix some on mine. And we found that the ones that we mixed, I like to call them unnatural noises. If you throw brown and green together, it's unnatural. And that seemed to disturb the environment. We didn't get anything using those. But when we use standard noises, natural noises, pink, white, green, we got more results. And I got the most with pink. And it's less complex. It's basically half the frequency of white. And it's more delicate. I think it's easier on the spirits within the pink noise. It's a lot softer. It's not as invasive, I think, to them. White noise sets them off right off the bat. A lot of people don't use it because of that. The noise distracts them after a while as well. They start the audio pareidolia. So, that's a common thing in this field.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, it's terrible. That's a whole lesson in itself right there. It's crazy.
There's a question there, Alex, I think.
I know. I'm trying to. Okay. Could the audio of the spoken word be communication trapped in constant loop from old Victorian phones to modern or radio and digital, a static library of the spoken word? Not really a question, but
that's a fantastic question.
Yeah.
That is very possible. They could be anything that we capture on mechanical devices. I mean, a lot of that steers more instrumental transcommunication, ITC. However, some of those things have been known to be picked up on digital recorders, especially, and they're hard to explain. You can't write them off. They're not supposed to be there. How they get there, because neither one of the cassette recorder or a digital recorder have a radio receiver of any kind on them, but yet they still pick up those kinds of things at times. And it's strange. How does it happen? Does it happen through thin air? Does it happen through some kind of static discharge? It blows your mind thinking about it.
It is weird.
It is
extremely weird how EVPs are captured.
And
on a cassette tape, one could argue, as you alluded to earlier, about the magnetic part of it.
Oh, sure.
On digital, how do you account for that?
On digital, I also use an external microphone with a digital recorder to eliminate any possibility of that. Now, there are not any mechanical moving parts in a digital recorder, but it does make some sound. It does have its own distinct background noise, same as a cassette recorder. Now, the external microphone on a cassette recorder needs to be at least 3 feet away from it, so it doesn't pick up the internal gear noise. Never use a cassette recorder without an external microphone and record EVP. Or you're welcome to false positive world, folks. You're gonna love it. Oh, geez, we need to get an exorcist. Nah, just an exorcist.
There's another question. Yeah. James has a question.
What microphone type have you had the best results with?
Any microphone that is omnidirectional. I have had the most results with omnidirectional. That is a 360, basically. Now, they have some microphones you can get now. The technology is crazy. I can't wait to use some of these new microphones. However, some of them are extremely sensitive. So be wary, because some of these newer microphones are so intense and so smart that they will filter out some of the noises we're trying to capture.
Yeah.
So an old school dynamic microphone, that'll even work, if whatever it takes, because we don't even know for sure if they speak into the microphone. They may imprint directly onto the machine itself. They may just come in, there they are. They may, there's theory that spirit will come through us and have us imprint. That's why sometimes we hear our own voices. I didn't say that. Did you? I didn't say that.
I did sound like me, didn't I?
It's great. And it does. It blows your mind. Is that an alternate universe coming in? Did we cross paths on the parallel universe? And those things are known to happen. I find with it, you have two types out there, two types of EVP. You have residual, intelligent. Residuals are more common. Intelligence it's hard to get, and once you learn the difference between the two, and just a quick tip, a residual, if you're asking a question, hey, what's your name, and you hear a residual response of the light bulb's out in the kitchen, well, that doesn't correlate with the question you just asked, so therefore it's residual. If it's an intelligent response, hey, can you tell us your name? Fred. Okay, that's an intelligent EVP. you may want to note that one down. I mean, you keep that at the back of your mind.
The spirit's smart.
And so much of that is bypassed. I've gone on investigations with other investigators, other teams, and they exhaust themselves so bad during the investigation. They really do. And, they set up all the DVR. They set up all this equipment. They're monitoring all this equipment. By the time they're done with all that setup, they're already exhausted. Now all they want to do is sit. Yep. So they sit and they monitor the equipment. They're not up moving around, exchanging the energy in the environment and getting things going. They're sitting. I can watch this room upstairs right here from my camera. No, you go upstairs to that room, interact. So they exhaust themselves. And I noticed that there's a lot of that. And there's a lot of distraction with investigations these days as well. I want to get that out there real quick, that, it's nice to have all the equipment. It really is. I used to have tons of it. Then I realized all it did was distract me from what I was doing, because during the EVP session, I'm paying attention to the REM pod, watching the millimeter. I'm not putting my full intention into the session. So then I started doing that, and I got more results. So I kept doing it. And that's where I'm real strong at telling people that less is more, because it works. You're able to focus on the craft itself. And, if the REM pod goes off and tells you there's a spirit in the room, you should already know this without a REM pod, that a spirit is present. If you zone yourself enough and you familiarize enough with the energy in that room, you can feel that thing when it comes on. You can feel a temp change. Your hair rises. Remember the old things, folks? When your hair stands up on end, that's usually a good sign.
Doesn't work when we have no hair.
Amen, Alex.
The nose hairs in. How about that?
Oh, but they overlook that. They overlook those little things, those little natural things like that, and they become so dependent on equipment.
Yeah, I've been saying that for years, and you know, I've been one for the grassroots for as long as I can remember, and I always felt that a lot of these you know, these tools and gadgets and in some cases parlor tricks
Parlor trick, yes.
they're a distraction. Exactly, they're a distraction, especially if you have the mindset of being your interest and in what you want to do is collect audio and interact and focus on that. I think that is when you're really going to be successful, as you put it. And yeah, the more distraction, the less that will happen, because you're missing those points. You're missing that those moments, and even if you don't, you know, in your recording or whatever, you don't collect anything that is sufficient or resembling an EVP of sorts, you may have a personal experience that you've missed.
Yes, sir.
You know, so and I always found that, you know, correlating a personal experience and then, you know, a possible EVP at the same time in and around, and I've had that happen a few times personally, and to me, there's nothing like it. I mean, having that personal experience and having something sort of data wise to sort of like back up your experience somewhat.
Yeah.
You know, wait, okay, maybe I'm not crazy.
Exactly. And it does. Sometimes it comes down to sanity. But when I first, I went at this full time. This is all I did. At the time I was down, ill, we'll call it. And I did this full time. It's all I did. And having, those experiences, it's insane at what you can learn, because you question your sanity a lot of times. You're speaking to thin air. You're talking to thin air. Sometimes you get no responses. So you're like, okay. And then, you know, you can ask the famous question from your doctor, do you hear voices? And then when you respond, no, sir, but I try. You get that look. And I do that to my docs. And I get that look. And I said, no, this is what I do. But to have the response, I guess, to go out into this field and not know what to do, where to go, how to do it, what's important, and first and foremost is the respect of it all and how you approach. Having the equipment like we talked about is one thing. It's a great way to learn. But as far as EVP itself, keep it pure. Keep it what it is. Don't mix it with ITC. Don't confuse it with instrumental transcommunication, which is completely night and day. And that's what I see a lot of, especially on these different channels, social media channels and things. The guys going around, what is that? I can't remember his name. He goes around the cemeteries and it's subtitles and it says everything that they're saying. He washes the stones, or and then there's other teams that go out and the people they think that is EVP, that is ITC on his, that he's using a ghost box and it's coming through and it has the subtitles down there. I don't trust subtitles, folks. It has the subtitles down there.
What are your thoughts about ghost box and spirit boxes?
The only, and I was hoping we could talk about this for a bit, because I mean, I'm old school. Steve, Alex,
me too. Yeah,
I'm old school. And to hand me a device now I used the Radio Shack hack.
Oh yeah, the good old
Whenever,
radio.
you remember when that came out, guys?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I didn't care for it. I don't have an ear for it. I'm not trained enough to decipher it, to analyze it, if you will. Now, the Ghost Box came out, and I possessed one of these things. And I tried it. Now, it's far more intelligent, far more clear. However, it still has that false sense of security with me. Because could this be a radio fragment?
Yeah.
Now, being in the broadcasting field, sure, absolutely it could be. But the timing, and what I can't get past, guys, is the timing of it all. When you ask a question and you get a name with the Ghost Box, that's pretty incredible, because the odds of a name coming across at that exact moment on an AM or FM frequency are beyond odd, beyond rare.
Yeah.
So you really can't explain it. But are they... Some people have these things talking in full paragraphs, and that's not the case. It's just not the case. Don't be sucked in by that stuff. That's clickbait, folks. These people are making money off of you. Don't let them. Yeah. That's clickbait. Yeah. But the ones that are genuine are going to be your small responses. Now I have tried some different ITC methods over the years. I've tried televisions. I've tried radios. And the Ghost Box and so forth, the hacks. I've tried them. I'm still not interested in the ITC field. Now, I'm interested in it, but I'm not interested. I'm not interested enough to invest myself in that as well, because there's far more going on the EVP side for me still. I'm still trying to figure this out and this out and this out. So I don't want to switch over here and then leave all this behind. So I want to keep it going. But ITC, it is a very interesting field. It is, yeah. And it's communication.
Neil has a question geared towards that. So since we're talking about it, so go ahead.
How often is vinyl used to pick up audio and sounds not audible to human ear?
Okay, how often is vinyl?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Now I know Michael Esposito has used vinyl before.
Vinyl is extremely rare. It's not so much fun to work with, and it has its own sense. But I know Raudiva. Let's see. Vinyl itself, I don't know how well that would capture compared to magnetic or digital. It would be similar to the RRDR60 that has its own distinctive sound. You would know that it's vinyl. You would know it's the RRDR60. You know it's a cassette. You know it's a digital. I haven't worked with vinyl that much. Michael would be the one to talk to about that. He's the one that always, Todd, I'll be back. I'm going back out in left field. You going back out in the field again? Don't forget your lunch. He would dabble more in the risque part of recording, and that was interesting part of working with him. And sure, we had our disagreements. My goodness, any good team does, don't they? They have their disagreements, but there's just so much with it. With the ways you can capture it, there's so many different ways. My thing is what I'm seeing now in modern times. People are confusing the two. You know, they're not the same. No. Just to clarify. EVP, electronic voice phenomenon. It is captured on a mechanical device, such as a cassette recorder, reel-to-reel recorder, microcassette recorder, digital recorder, a recording device, vinyl. There's also the ribbons. You can use the ribbons as well. There's many different ways you can capture EVP. ITC, those are a different kind of communication. It's more televisions, video, audio to an extent, with different things imprinted in the audio. For example, forcing audio through white noise. Things like that have been done. That's ITC. So try not to confuse the two, separate the two. Me, I'm a simple kind of guy. I've always been simple. I've always been practical. And EVP to me is just simple. It's practical, and it's proven. It has stood the test of time. It's not a fad. It's not something that's going to fade away.
No.
I know a lot of people, and I've heard it myself. I've seen it in different postings. EVP is dead. No.
God, no.
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 It's just getting started.
There's always something that comes out of the woodwork that, you may go through a drought, and then all of a sudden, oh, wow. Okay, now it's drawn me back in. I don't think it'll ever die. No, God, no.
Well,
We do have another question.
yeah, sure.
Have you done any experiments with EVP and a Faraday cage?
Yes, sir. I have. I've used the cages, the bags. They're both very effective. And I have, what's funny about Faraday is it blocks out all radio signal, all signals and so forth. I didn't yield any results. Using the Faraday, it blocked out everything. Now, does the cage even block out spirit energy? We don't know. It may be on a similar frequency, just the brass. It may be not conductive to them. I don't know, but I did not capture one single EVP using the brass cage or the bag. So it's effective.
It's over effective.
Yeah.
So you just gotta put your house in a big Faraday cage if you don't want to be haunted.
You just cover yourself in brass.
Yeah, there you go. I got a personal question. Have you considered like using group sessions, like having multiple people there, obviously like-minded people, to sort of raise the energy of the room and hopefully get some kind of response?
Absolutely. Yes. I actually teach about that exact thing in my courses. The group session is phenomenal if it's used correctly. It should be a quiet session led by an EVP specialist, perhaps, of the team. No more than 5 people I wouldn't use. But you have all those different energies in that area, sitting in a circle, perhaps, however you guys want to. But the energy's in there. And, it's simple to do a group session. If you draw a blank on a question, you can just beam a flashlight over. They're fairly quiet, no flashlight, and tag somebody, and they ask a question. And with the group session, now see, there's been a lot of times I've done a lot of client investigations where spirit doesn't want to talk to me at all. They're pissed. They know why we're there. They think we're there to get rid of them, and that's not the case. But it's how you. It's your personality. Sometimes a female will get more results than a male in a certain location. It could be a period thing. It could be anything. It could be the motherly way that the female acts, and that's what the male spirit prefers. If the male spirit talks to a male, it's upset, it's ticked off, but a female can calm it right down. That's been known to happen. So with the group sessions, you have all those different personalities, all those different emotions. You don't know what could happen during a group session, but you have to be careful, because with every person you add to an EVP session, you add that much room for error. So you want to be very careful. Note every natural sound you hear, anything that sounds out of the ordinary. Even if you hear a voice, some people will hold that and save it to the end. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't sit there and, you're sitting there during the session and you hear, hey, tell them heaven's great and come on up. I'll wait till after the session. No, you tell them now. Just get it out. Note, I just heard from Spirit. I just heard a voice saying, heaven is great, come on up. Put it out there. Because if you're jiving and asking questions and going back and forth with a group session especially, that's good input. That's good info to know. So if you're hearing a voice with the naked ear, which is also called old school wise ENP, or electronic noise phenomenon, you're hearing it with the naked ear, but it didn't record, or sometimes it even does. Note that. You definitely don't want to don't think, oh, I'm just hearing things. That's just pareidolia. Not necessarily. Sometimes that's the only way spirit can come through. If they can't get through to that machine or someone else, maybe you are so open-minded that they're planting a little bug in your head. You just don't know. You don't know how consciousness works. And it's alive. It's a living thing all around us. We walk through it. It goes around us. We don't walk through it. It comes around us as we go, I believe. We're just in it all the time. And when you're in a session, when you're in the groove like that, and you are energetically in tune, which I think the metaphysical spiritual aspect goes hand in hand with communication with spirit. Mix the two. Try it. See how your results are. It's crazy. It's crazy how it works. Having someone that's intuitive close by, it's almost as if they're little magnets, and the spirits go right to them. The next thing you know, you're capturing things on your recorder, or what they're saying is being validated. That's happened as well. Now, I'm not saying have a traveling psychic come along with you on every EPP session, but introduce it, because it's a tool. It's a tool, just like anything else. Don't be afraid to try new things in this field. Because that's how it was discovered to begin with. Discovered by accident, you know. I mean, Frederick's sitting there just recording bird calls, the poor guy, you know, for his next film. He's just hanging out in the woods recording some birds, and his mom comes on the recorder. I mean, and that was back then. I can't even imagine his face. I mean, to have that kind of credibility, that, you know, that is your mother's voice. And, you know, it's crazy on how this, and it's intention or no intention. He didn't intend to record his mother's voice. He wasn't trying to contact his mother, but boy, did he try after. I mean, that guy worked his tail off on this stuff. So read about it, learn from it, reflect on it, use it, go out there and unlearn it. That's the only way we're going to discover something new, guys, I think, is by traveling back to the days of old and reading about it and seeing just how different it was back then compared to what it is now. It's night and day.
Yeah.
Night and day.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's it has changed so much. It is so, yeah, it's amazing how much it has changed over the years. And you know, it's really, really tough to keep that sort of you know, method that you've been using for so many years without it being altered by something. But I don't know. I've managed myself to keep it you know, simple.
Good.
And you know, I sit there and watch and see other people and how they conduct their sessions or whatnot, and go, it's too much. It's just too much.
Where has the discipline gone? Where has the documentation gone? Where has the integrity gone? What happened, folks?
Yeah.
What happened out there? What, I mean, did we really sell ourselves out for some followers and a film crew? I mean, seriously? Did we sit there and just, are we questioning now if spirit even exists? Are we not even worried about it anymore? Are we still wondering about life after death? That's why we're here. Not here for fame and fortune, for crying out loud. No way.
You don't find fortune doing this. You don't. I mean,
it's the poorest community out there.
Yeah,
Steve.
you could talk to all those people, a lot of the people who have been the faces of this for so many years, and they'll tell you they couldn't make a living off this. It's tough.
No.
It's tough, no matter, fame and fortune. It's it's rare, and I mean, those who did make it really still didn't make it.
No, they didn't make as much as you think they did. Folks.
No,
they were on television. Okay,
yeah.
Yay! Don't make a big deal out of it. Just because it's on TV doesn't mean it's real. Half the time, it's not. So use common sense. Stick with veterans that have been there, done that, continue to do it, and they're not worried about the fame and fortune and followers and all this stuff. It's the fun, it's the thrill of capturing one of these little critters. It really is, because they're tough. They're not easy. And the challenge, if you guys are up for a good challenge yourself. Mm-hmm. Don't take the easy route.
No.
You're not going to appreciate it. If you do the work, if you do the session properly and you yield a result, that is going to be the best EVP you captured, even if you can't understand it. It's going to be the best thing you've ever captured, because you put the legwork in to get it, and you don't see that anymore. Everybody wants everything now, right now. And that's why ITC is making the sweep it is because you have the real time in the ghost box. But folks, you can't document that.
No.
That's not very credible either.
No.
Because usually it's not recorded. It's not a properly controlled session. It's just random, like the Estes method. That's about the most controlled part of ITC that you have. Everything else is under its own control. So
I was just about to ask you about the Estes method.
I if I was going to do an ITC method, it would be the Estes. Absolutely.
Out of all of them, yeah, it's probably
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would think so, because it separates you. I like how it's controlled, and it's not because I'm trying to prove anything scientifically. I'm trying to make sense. It's common sense, people. So you have an operator and you have a receiver with the Estes method, and this is an ITC method. Don't confuse it with EVP. This is an ITC method, and you have a ghost box, okay, and then you have somebody asking questions. The operator will ask questions, and then the receiver is isolated, usually in another room with noise canceling headphones on. And when I did it, I focus like this. I'm just doing, oh my goodness, because so much is coming through. Okay, you're just getting bombarded with all this crap's coming. So you have to kind of focus a little bit, and it takes a while to get used to, and then you start to hear. You start to make sense of these little things, because you're sitting there, and that's your only job, is to make sense of what's being said on the ghost box. So you're sitting there, and then, Frank, you just blurt it out just like that during the Estes method. And the operator may have asked the question, can you tell us your name? And you don't know what happened because you're in another room. So you're just, Frank, Eddie, get out. You're doing this stuff during an Estes. So you're questioning your sanity, guys.
I don't think it would work with Alex, though. Alex has a hard time finding spirits and ghosts. He deters them, so.
Yeah.
I'm the deterrent. I'm the one you want to call if you want to cleanse a house.
Without having to cleanse it, he just has to walk right in.
That's right. All I got to do is walk. That's it.
Come on in, Alex.
If I have a burrito beforehand, that's a double cleanser.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Oh, that gives smudging a whole new name.
Yeah. Smudging, yeah. Don't light a match within 20 feet.
James has another question there, and then we'll take our break, halfway break there.
Where was this question? Hold on.
Are there any books you recommend for anyone wanting to learn more on EVP in particular?
Ooh, not too many on that. Go to Amazon, search Frederick Jurgensen, Breakthrough.
Yeah,
Breakthrough would really be a great start.
Yep.
Sarah Estep's, of course, Voices to Eternity and Roads to Eternity. You read those two books, and you are going to be doing these sessions on a whole new level.
Oh, yeah.
I promise you. They are incredible, what's within those books. And Frederick's is good as well. Hans Holzer touches on it on a lot of his books. He puts them in there as well. Joshua P. Warren. His book.
Joshua P. Warren, yes.
His book, his Ghost Hunters book, is phenomenal.
That was one of the books. That was one of the books I do
phenomenal.
recall. Yeah, that was a good book.
Yeah, and he's taken off into different things now. The guy's amazing. Josh is, but his book is that taught me so much and taught so many people so much in this field. Lloyd Arbach's another one. He's an amazing individual, professor paranormal himself. These guys have been out there and done that and wrote the book. I touch on it a little bit. I've got a couple books out there. They're mostly autobiographies. I do touch on EVP on my second book. I actually go through, have the list on how to properly process an EVP.
And we'll talk about your books too, obviously, in the second half.
Oh yeah, no worries. Sure. But there's just so much, guys, so much fun. But there's a lot out there. There's more out there now than there was. But definitely when I started, it was nothing. It was you're having to go to the library to find these books like Breakthrough and all this. It was crazy tracking these down. It was
tough to look. It was tough to look. Know where to look. Period.
Yes.
With how sparse it was.
When it was so taboo.
And I think, Todd, you and I probably in and around the same time, give or take a few years or whatever. But there was like literally nothing. Literally.
Now you go there and you were lucky if there was a small section, and it would have to be a good librarian to help you find it because you wouldn't even know where to look. And they'd have it listed under mechanical. Because it's so taboo. There's no genre.
Exactly.
Now it's ghost everything. What do you want? Intelligent, residual, traditional? What do you want? Yeah, it's all over. It's everywhere. So be careful because it's saturated. When it's saturated, that means people change things to make money, to compete with other things that have been said. So usually, if you stick with what's old, you're good. That's usually how it works. So you stick with that. You're good.
All right, we're going to take a short break here. Once again, you're watching Nocturnal Frequency Radio here on the YouTube channel, and our guest this evening is Todd Bates. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more with Todd.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Good evening. I'm Richard Palmisano, the founder of the Searcher Group. It's a paranormal company, the oldest in Canada. I founded in 1979, which not only makes me old, but makes me doing paranormal research and field work for just under 45 years now. I am also an author, researcher, and lecturer on the paranormal. I've written 6 books now. And I really enjoy coming on with Steve and Alex on Nocturnal Frequency Radio, as well as listening to the shows, because there's a lot of interesting guests there. I like it, looking at this stuff, because it opens your mind to other options and other alternative thoughts. And, there's always time to learn new things. So I hope you join us and come and see Nocturnal Frequency Radio. Thank you.
So let me ask you, what makes for good radio?
My 5 favorite songs all day long.
Play it again.
No.
As many commercials as physically possible.
What? No, why would that be good?
Great music, great talk shows, no commercials.
Precisely. New Visions Radio gives you no commercials, no nonsense, just the best new music and the best talk all day long, 24/7, 365. NewVisionsRadio.com.
Hey guys, Kristen here, host of the Paranormal Girl podcast, a bingeable exploration and deep dive education about the paranormal for the skeptical believer. Some of my past season topics have included shadow people, Mandela effect, demons, and UFOs. Currently, I am tackling Bigfoot. I have been sharing this journey with my audience since early 2021, and I have learned a lot these last few years. It's truly a mysterious world out there beyond our perceptions, and reality is just not what it seems. I have also, since the start, met some awesome folks like Alex and Steve, and I've really enjoyed watching and learning from them and also joining them on their show. Their guests are always outstanding. Their listeners are just the coolest, and these hosts are some of my favorite people. I recommend their show to anyone looking for an intelligent and fun conversation about the paranormal amongst friends. So join me on my investigation, join Steve and Alex on theirs, and enjoy. Now back to the show. You are watching Nocturnal Frequency Radio.
And that you are. Thank you for tuning in, watching, whatever you're doing, to Nocturnal Frequency Radio. Here in our this evening, our guest is Todd Bates. Todd, it's like I said, it's been a long time coming since finally having you on the show, and I really do appreciate you coming on.
Better late than never, right, Steve?
Absolutely. I like I said, I've followed you for many years, and really do have enjoyed what you've provided, especially on the EVP realm. I have to say, like you, like many others, some others, just a handful of people that I always did, go to and sort of learn more about EVP myself. So I want to, obviously thank you for, the amount of years that you've provided some really, really good information on EVP. So
thank you. That means the world to me, coming from you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun. I think I go out there and screw up so you guys don't have to.
But so Haunted Voices, but you've written some books.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into the books.
Okay. Yeah, my first book, it's an autobiography. It's called The Haunted Voice. And it's an autobiography. It tells all. Those of you that know me know that I'm an open book, literally. Yeah. And I share a lot of things that most wouldn't. For me, it's a therapy, and it's part of my therapy to do so. So I wrote that first book, and it does contain some paranormal content as well. A lot of paranormal stories, experiences I've been through, investigations, you know, and yeah, that book was, it was fun to write. Mm-hmm. It was very therapeutic, very freeing. It made me very vulnerable, if you will, you know, because there's a lot of things in there about me that most don't know. Mm-hmm. And they read the book, and I'll get an email months later. My goodness, I didn't know you went through all this. Yeah, I do it all over again. It made me who I am today. Mm-hmm. And I've had some struggles, and I continue to have struggles in my life, but it's how you handle them. Mm-hmm. And with good people around you, that's what you need, is that support.
Absolutely.
But having the first book, it was, like I said, very therapeutic and freeing. The second, it's part of a 3-part trilogy. The second book, The Haunted Voice, Life After, that was after I got out of prison. So you'll have to read me going into prison, going from being a correctional officer for 6 years to the other side of the bars. So it's different. It's different. And it's shocking. A lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people don't realize how shy that I really am either. I'm an introvert. A lot of these things you'll discover in that book, and it was a lot of fun to write. The second one, like I said, is an expansion of the first. It goes more in depth. People wanted to know more about what happened to me while in prison. They wanted to hear some correctional stories, so I put some of those in there. My childhood is in there, and that is very difficult for me to write about because it's something I cherish. I rarely talk about my childhood because it's something that was mine. And that's in there. A lot of that is in there. So if you wanted to curious about that, that's in there. And then it gets into the paranormal. It gets into electronic voice phenomenon. It gets into the founding of EVP explorations, the rebranding from haunted voices. It's a transition. So all of the things that you're wondering, why the hell did that happen? The book explains it. And you'll have to read it to understand. I reduce the price on the things. I'm not in this for the money, folks. It's the message within that's important. Those books can help a lot of people. If you're a recovering alcoholic, an addict, anything of that nature, this will help you. And the prices are reduced. You can get them for like $10. You can get a hardback for $15. You can get the ebook for $5. So it's not going to break the bank. And they're available over there at Amazon and Barnes and Noble. All the proceeds go right back into EVP explorations. There's so much with those 2 books, and the third one is going to be the best yet. It's the Behind the Mic, the final of the series, and it's going to be out here in 2.5 years. I'll get that released on Halloween, just like the other 2. And it's going to be more behind the scenes. What happened? Because a lot of questions are floating around, guys, on what's going on. Why did Todd move to Wisconsin? What's happening? What in the world's going on? And they don't know. And I'll tell them soon enough. But that book will have the full story and then some in there. So this third one coming out is going to be the most important. I'm 2 chapters in, and it's a lot of fun already. It's a lot of fun already, but they're fun. They're affordable. Get out there and get you a copy. Share the copy. You don't have to just share it with somebody. When you're done reading it, hand it off to somebody that it can help, because it is. It's a very helpful book. I feel it's helped a lot of people that have read it, were facing the same challenges I were. Their rock bottoms and so forth, and they still come to me and we talk. A lot of people that have read that book. We're friends. We're connected. You read that and you know that much about me. You better search me out.
How does Steve and I go about getting a signed copy?
Hey, I can get that. I can make that happen for you too.
Awesome.
Well, Todd, you're doing better than me. I'm still working on my first book, and
You're still working on the first paragraph.
Yes. It's just
You got this, Steve. What
Oh,
you have to
I know I
do-
do. I don't know. I have to get into that that realm of like shutting myself in a room and going,
You
just
have to do it.
I
You
have
have to do it.
I have to.
And it's tough.
It is.
You have to face a lot of demons you may not want to face. A lot of it was the reason why I procrastinated a lot was fear.
Yeah.
I was afraid that if I were to write these things down and tell these stories, I'm screwed. People would know how to manipulate me.
Mm-hmm.
They would, but they don't. They don't. It's nothing like that. So you just have to take that step. And I took that step. And once you sit there, Steve, and you isolate yourself for a little while,
Yeah.
just you and your thoughts, this stuff just pours out
Mhm.
and it won't stop. And you send it off to an editor and they're like, holy cow. And I recommend self-publishing the thing. You know, publishers are great, but they're also expensive.
Expensive.
Do a little work yourself, self-publish it. It's fun.
Yeah, I know. I hear that quite often in self-publishing. So it quite possibly, who knows? I don't know. But
Yeah.
I'll eventually get it done.
You'll get it. If you need any help, let me know. By goodness, we'll do it. We'll do it together. We'll get it done.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah. So you know what? I want to play an EVP for you too, and I want to get your take on it. I'll play that a bit later, but with Haunted Voices Radio.
Mhm.
The message that you're getting out with the EVP sort of realm, but other stuff with the paranormal.
Right.
What was I guess the most important thing that you learned your whole time while hosting, while producing Haunted Voices Radio?
Wow, what an excellent question. What I learned the most out of all that, how to manage time during, how to take someone like Stanton Friedman, this guy, how to interview. I interviewed him in my bathrobe. That was back with audio, folks. But I interviewed Stanton Friedman in my bathrobe. And because this man was a wealth of information. And I learned so much from interviewing him several times because he has so much info that you have to organize and catalog certain ways for the show. These are just for your notes to get you to be able to communicate with the man. But he taught me that, shows like that taught me the organizational skills needed. And I became faster and faster at doing that. And then it came to the point where I wasn't using my notes as much as a crutch. So it becomes second nature when you invest your time like you guys do in your show. When you invest your time in that, you become the show. And you feel it. And if you go by what it says, usually you win. There's ins and outs of it. There's do's and don'ts, of course. But doing radio for that long, learning from people like Dr. Jimmy back in the day with ASPR radio. I mean,
wow.
Ed Kraft.
Ed Kraft.
Learning from guys like this that their personalities were spot on. And then to spin off and find your own personality, which is very difficult to do. When I'm, for example, when I'm on the show, at first I was a different type. I would broadcast. Now I just talk.
Yeah.
And that made it easier for me. Instead of broadcasting and exhausting myself, just talking. and making it interesting. So I learned how to structure myself with those shows. Haunted Voices taught me that there is so much more beyond this veil. It is unbelievable. And that is why it steered away from electronic voice phenomenon like it did, because I became so interested in the other things, folks, that you know, such as Sasquatch, UFOs, and Atlantis, and all of this stuff. We interviewed hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. Stanton Friedman down to the amazing James Randi.
Oh, wow.
With him for 30 minutes, guys. 30 minutes on Haunted Voices, that guy. And he's tough. Those of you that knew him, he's a tough sell. But they all taught me something. They all taught me something about their craft, about their life, about their opinions, their beliefs. And that only helped me through the years build my own foundation. I had all of those opinions from so many super intelligent people that I was able to take that information and debunk what I thought didn't mix well with me, and then put my own 2 cents over here. Next thing you know, I'm a better researcher because of it. Just by talking to people, by communicating, by listening. You must listen. You know, talking is great, but you must listen too. That's half the battle. So, I mean, the show, and it still teaches me, now that I rebranded it into EVP Explorations, it's reborn. It's back to its original focus. Its focus was communication. Haunted Voices' focus was communication. This is going to stay in that focus, and it was a labor of love to bring it back like that. And using today's technology, guys, is insane.
I know
the ways. You know, building the website, for example, which is a lot easier than what it used to be.
Oh yeah.
building that thing, it's a monster. It is a mecca of information. It really is, folks, and it's all for free. That transition. You know, I'm thinking, okay, Haunted Voices. I had a chat, I had a forum, and I had some articles. What can I use today? Holy cow! It has its own community now, guys. You can go there and upload an EVP capture and get opinions. You can make a group, you can make a page, you can drop a post. It's all for free, and people are using it. They're getting the opinions on their EVP capture. They're sharing it, which is what's important, is to share this info. You can, and a lot of people do, but don't let it out. Communicate, get some opinions. Don't worry about the trolls. Ignore them. Get tough skin, let it bounce off. Trust me. It takes a minute, but you can do it. Don't worry about what they say. That's your capture. And to have the technology today to be able to have people share information like that, the community itself, it's very similar to Facebook and how it works. It's got likes and all this stuff. But people are using it, and that's what it's for. And, Friday that sits here, I was talking about a database, how this community, and it still dumbfounds me to this day, guys, how we, with today's technology and the price of servers going down the way they have, why the hell don't we have our own database?
Yeah.
Why is that? Why is MUFON kicking our ass when it comes to organization? We've been around longer. Why? Why are these things happening? Why have we disbanded the way we have? Why have we separated into these different cliques and niches? No, we're all here for the same reason.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's nuts. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating because this community is a beautiful community. It really is. I love it to pieces. It accepted me where many people wouldn't. We have to take care of it. It needs lifted up, shaken, and put back down. That's all. But we have to do it together. It's too heavy for one person to lift. So it's something we all have to just take a bite out of and know that it is repairable. It's just going to take a minute. Just be careful out there. I mean, do the legwork, Remember integrity and respect. The courses on the site, guys, that's what, I made 29, 30 total. There's a master course.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all free of charge. They're all text-based. Very good courses, I think. You can go there, register for free, and I condense them. All 29 now go into, you have two sections. You have Paranormal 101 to Paranormal 103, and that encompasses 29 courses in there. And then you have underneath that the EVP section, EVP 101 to 103. So you have advanced EVP in there as well. And that gets into everything from something that used to be so easy back in the day, connecting a cassette recorder to a computer, for example, used to be a snap. Now it takes some wiring, folks.
Exactly. Yeah.
A lot of wiring, a mixing board, and some other tools. But the course goes through step by step on how to do that. And you get you take the third course on each section. You take an exam after that section, and you get your certificate. You know, and it's an eye opener.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have all that came about from a study guide I wrote in 2004. And I couldn't believe it, guys, but it was still floating around. I didn't even have a copy of it. Mark Turner turned it over to me. And I said, okay, with today's technology, I can create courses from it. And I did. And they're all free. The education is free. You guys can get over there and get started. You take them at your own pace. There's no set time. There's nothing. There's students over there bouncing back and forth, having fun with them. Learn. Get the edge when you're out there. We need all the help we can get out in the field. It's so complicated. Let's uncomplicate it. Let's make it easier. Educate ourselves, make it easier, guys. I mean, it's making it so complicated. But there's light at the end of the tunnel. You have the courses. There's education out there outside of EVP explorations as well. Seek it. Mm-hmm. Don't just willy-nilly this. Don't just jump out of your recliner after watching a season of Ghost Hunters and go out there and say, I'm in. No, you're not. You're just not. You condition yourself, because you may come across some things that may blow your mind. And you have to be prepared for those kinds of things, and it's hard to prepare. Just know what you're getting into. Just if my recommendation is, if you're in this for the thrill, be an enthusiast. Don't be a researcher. If you're in this to get scared on the weekends, you're an enthusiast, and that's okay. Be that. Don't try to be something you're not. That's how things get messed up, and it just don't work out. My recommendation, document everything, because you don't know if it's going to happen again. You don't know what timestamp everything. Note all of these verbal sounds, folks. Oh my goodness, I can't stress that enough. It helps so much. Trust me. When you're analyzing that file and it's an hour long and it's a cassette, you gotta sit there and listen for an hour, folks. You gotta sit there, and it gets frustrating. Take those breaks. Don't listen to the entire hour. It's gonna be pareidolia city. You're gonna be hearing full paragraphs. Don't do that. Take a break every 5 minutes or so. Walk away. If you capture an EVP, listen to it 3 times. Walk away. Come back about an hour later. Listen to it again. Does it sound the same? Is it different? Do you remember what it was? Do you remember what it said? Did you write it down? These are all little things that you need to do during this analysis to have a good analysis. If not, you're going to burn yourself out. And when you burn yourself out, you stress out, you quit. When you quit, you're out, and we need you. So stay. But stay for the right reasons. Yeah.
You hear that, Alex? Stay. Don't go anywhere.
Yes, stay, Alex.
Alex,
I'll try not to. I'll try not to wander.
The wandering deterrent.
Yes, wandering deterrent.
Yeah, that's great. It's it's amazing, Todd, that you're providing these courses, and it's a structure that it's a it's almost like a lost art now with the paranormal. It really is, as you said. There isn't a lot. There isn't really a lot out there. People, I don't think, in this day and age, don't want to learn about it properly. They just again they're just emulating the what they're seeing, what they're seeing on TV, and so on and so on, and thinking that is the right way of conducting an investigation or whatever, or
You're right.
looking into the paranormal. It's a shame, and the field has built upon that now to the point where the importance of learning the actuality of it has almost but disappeared.
Yeah. It's gone to the wayside, and one of the biggest things, Steve, guys, the biggest thing is people think because they buy a tool such as a ghost box, that they're going to get results. No, you just don't buy a cassette recorder or digital recorder to get results. The results are up to you. I feel they're very much up to the individual, their knowledge, their intention, all of the above when it comes to a session. They're very important. Sessions, and this shocks a lot of people when I say this too, they're no different than using a Ouija board. No different, in my opinion. An open communication session is an open communication session. No matter what you're doing. You could be doing a reading, a psychic reading. You could be doing an EVP session. You could be doing a Ouija session. It's all open communication. And it's dangerous as well. Sure, if you are not properly trained, so to speak, or knowledgeable about spirit and how it works, things can come through that you don't want through. Things can get attached that you don't want attached. You can bring things home with you. So you have to be very careful before you just go out and, like I said, watch a few episodes of a television show, buy a recorder, and run to an old house somewhere. Be careful, folks. You just don't want to do that. That's not smart. That's not thinking. That is not using common sense. That's not even respectful to yourself. Respect yourself enough to educate yourself, get what you need, not what you think you need as far as equipment, but what you need to use. Get that. Start small, very small, and let it snowball. Trust me, once you capture your first one, and it's going to take some time, it may take a couple years for you to capture one, and that's okay. Keep trying. But once you do, you'll know. And once you know, you'll continue to get more. It opens up this, each one I've captured, guys, I don't know what it is internally, but it has turned something on inside of me. It's like a switch. You capture one, it's like a puzzle piece to a more complicated puzzle, but it's a piece nonetheless. So it's each one you capture brings you closer to the truth you seek. Okay, so make sure the truth you are out there seeking has integrity and credibility. And by educating yourself, by using a proper method, you'll give it that. Because one of these days, it is going to happen. It may not be in my lifetime. It may not be in our lifetime at all. Someone is going to capture something they shouldn't have, because too many things are slipping through the way it is. Somebody's going to see something that's unmistakable, that is otherworldly. Then what? What are we going to do then? What's going to happen then? And it's going to happen. But is it supposed to happen? No, it's not supposed to happen. We're not supposed to know this stuff. That's why there's no encyclopedias. That's why there's no absolutes, because it's all theory. Oh, I use that word lightly. I use the word so lightly, guys. It's tough for me to say.
Yeah.
A lot of it is theory. Trust me, I've debunked so much of it as a skeptic before all this. I used to come on these shows to mock you people. I didn't know. I wouldn't like this, but it is now. And for a reason, because I proved it to myself, just as you should. Not to anyone else. Get that mindset out. That's bad mindset. Bad. Kick it out. Prove it to yourself. Because you're the one interested in it. Don't worry about, oh my goodness, this EVP is going to make me the master EVP of the world. No. Trust me, that one will be picked apart too. It will. It will. Because we're human beings. Mm-hmm. We have so many flaws in our characters. Jealousy, for one. Fear. All of these little flaws, these imperfections, these shield your results. If you go into a location fearful, jealous, any kind of envious mentality, you're done. I've tried it, folks. And it's nuts how it works. And if you set that proper intention, just a simple intention, I'm here to communicate with you, not to harm you, not to send you away, but to communicate with you, to talk with you. Bam! Results come pouring in. They really do. And it's not like you're getting paragraphs or complete sentences, but you're getting something in return to your questions or your work. You're getting something in return, some kind of result. Intention. That's the key, I think. I mean, if I had to throw anything over the years, guys, all the screw ups I've done, my intention is one of them. Because I've tried different intentions in different locations, and boy, have I got my butt kicked a few times. It happens. You have to, you have to experiment, because there's no right or wrong way really anymore. There just isn't. We have tools that we use, sure, but there's other ways to use them. I mean, a wonderful friend of mine just last night and I were talking, and there's an experiment, a new one, something beyond simple. I'm going to try with a cassette recorder that hopefully will blow my mind. And it's something I didn't think of. She did. I didn't think of it. And that's what we're going to try. And, it's a different way. It's a different approach. It's quiet. It's non-invasive. There's no noise. So I'm going to give it a shot. And I mean, of course, I'll let you guys know how it goes, but there's things you just have to do in this field and continue to do them no matter what results you get the first time. You may go to a location and like I did, go to the Sally house and stir them up with some white noise mixed with chrome noise, we called it. No, it was a horrible idea. Absolutely horrible. But it was something I had to try. Now, was this me provoking? Not vocally. I did not provoke. Did I provoke them with noise? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Was that intentional? Yes, it was. To see if that even worked. And it doesn't. All it does, it makes it so thick, and they're so upset with you. They're not doing a damn thing. They're gone. They're just, it's like an empty shell. When you contaminate and taint a location, especially a known haunted location like that, you're not going to get a thing. But if you go in there with the intention to communicate, not to send them away, not to piss them off, but to talk to them, you'd be surprised at what you get in return. You get some pretty cool stuff. I mean, I'm sure you guys can agree.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like I've always, my approach has always been, being as open as possible. And to, again, like, I always felt that, experimenting and trying different ways, especially in the environment you're in. What kind of environment are you in? What do you think would work best in that type of environment? Exterior, interior, a hospital, a house, whatever. I mean, there are things that even if you're not, the intention wasn't there and you're successful. Wow. Document that. Think about it. Why did that happen?
Yeah.
What am I getting? Wow. This is, and in fact, the one I wanted to play for you, Todd, is exactly that. It was not intended. It was not intended. And when this happened, it's funny. It was locked in the vaults for many years until I started working on a documentary. And when I started working on the documentary, and I went through some old footage, and I'm listening and I'm going, wow, how did I miss this? How did I miss this? And I remember the moment when this was captured. I remember it so well, so vividly, and going, this is insane. How? And I'll I'll pull it up. I want you to I want to get your take on it.
Oh yeah.
Just bear with me here. I just want to make sure.
Yeah. If it gave you those kind of feelings, Steve, it's genuine, my friend.
Oh, I've played it a few times on the show, but it's just incredible. Like, okay, it's just, I did have it loaded up, but now all of a sudden it took off on me. Oh, really? Okay, I gotta make sure I'm in the right area here. Sorry about this, guys. But when it was captured, it was okay. Here we go. I just want to make sure I have the original.
Was it a digital capture?
It was digital high 8.
Nice.
Digital high 8.
Oh, bless you, Steve.
Here we go. So I just amplified it a little. Wow. I'll play it one more time.
Oh my goodness. Absolutely incredible capture. Kudos, my friend. That, if without looking at it, with just listening to it, I would say that is residual. It sounded like a female to me. And it was a conversation. It sounded like a conversation was happening as well, but in a tone almost like singing, like happy go lucky. You could hear the syllables. I couldn't make out what she was saying.
You get the melody.
Yes, the melody.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody capture.
Yeah, somebody pointed out there was voices downstairs. There was people downstairs, but when you look at the levels and you listen to it, the voice, the singing or the reciting of what might be like a prayer or a nursery rhyme is right there with the camera guy.
Yeah.
Right there. And the camera guy was by himself. He was all by himself. There was no one else in that house. Absolutely nobody.
Mind blowing.
I know. It blew my mind when I'm like, wow. And it's not that area where that came from. It's not the first time that stuff has been captured there that's like that. It's phenomenal. But that one laid in the archives undiscovered for almost 10 years. And then when I, like I said, I was going through some old footage to put together a documentary. And I remember that time because it was the very first time that we had been in that place, in that house. And an old farmhouse. And remember that I sent my videographer to go up and document the house, visually. So I would have a visual representation of where everything is. So continuity and so on and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And, I remember, him saying that he had a little moment of unease in a certain area in front of a picture, an oil painting. And I remember, in going through the footage and watching it again, he stops right by the oil painting. He's looking, framing on the oil painting. And then all of a sudden you hear that sort of reciting. And I'm like, wow, incredible.
It's like the timing was perfect
Mm.
for a residual release, or maybe it was disrupted by something there. But the way that came out, the melody, the syllables, you can make out so much. And what I'm curious about, do you know? Did anyone look at it on a special view, as far as
I did.
Okay,
I go ahead.
Did you see where the vocals are, the female vocals? Were they did they have little vibrations in them, or were they just simple blotches?
No, you see the vibrations.
Okay.
You absolutely see the vibration. That's why it amazed me.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I looked at it at the spectral and seeing the actual vibrations, you're like, this is just incredible.
And that's why captures like that are so rare.
Mm.
And it makes me wonder, and it makes me wonder too much, how they're captured. Do they come through the microphone like we would? We would know that this amplifies whatever voice you're trying to put out there.
Mm.
But a part of me says, wait a minute, Todd. Spirits, true energy, they do not possess vocal cords.
No.
So how would they come up to the microphone as an entity and say that? Now, I have had captures in the past that are extremely close to the microphone. They're loud.
Mm.
But how did they do it? Do they go up and talk into this? Do they imprint on the device? Do they use us to come through? Maybe this is why there's so many different variants in volume. A perfect example. There was a guy I was talking to on Facebook when I had it before they ripped it out from underneath me. It happens. But I was talking to him, and he sent me a clip, and it was the most impressive residual I've ever heard. But what's funny is this is why you want to learn your equipment, folks. He sent me the clip, and he had one capture on there that was audible.
Hmm.
But you go in and amplify it. You literally just turn it up to normal, 6 decibel, whatever, -6. And you turn it up to that. And all of a sudden, all of this audio appeared. And he did this on his phone. Okay. So when you're recording on your phone, make sure your phone's all the way up, because it goes by what's on your phone. So I just had to turn it up. And I turned that up, and that revealed 4 more EVP captures that were incredible. Just by turning up the volume. Didn't add any filters, no filtering, no nothing. Turning it up. And that's usually a lot of times what you have to do is turn it up, amplify it correctly. There they are. But your capture, to capture something, I found that, a lot of the captures I get, they're intelligent. To capture something residual, timing is everything. We don't know how they're captured, how they imprint on these devices, nor do we know how that energy is released or where it's stored. Is this because of the home having a limestone foundation or built on bedrock, something porous? Does it hold?
Yeah.
Ley lines, another thing. Are those around? They hold the energy. And, that's why you'll, well, this house is so haunted, let's tear it down.
Yeah.
Nah, still tied to the land. Good luck.
Exactly.
Good luck. It's going to come right back with a new one, with a vengeance. And if you have that mentality, that opinion on how spirit works, it seems to be more controlled and more sane to think of it that way than thinking them just flying around willy-nilly. Hey, what's up? It's just, it seems more controlled than that on their part. They already know why we are there. I think they are always 2 or 3 steps ahead of us. How many times, guys, this just happened to us not too long ago. Something always happens. You don't have a camera. There's no camera going. There's no recorder going. There's no way to document it, but a personal experience. That happens a lot. That's why documentation is key. If you see something, say something, especially if it's collective. Because if you're sitting there and you've got a buddy next to you during an investigation, an apparition appears and you see it and you don't say anything because you don't want anybody to think you're crazy. But then they see it. They didn't say anything either. But if you both would have said something, that made it collective, that made it credible. There you go. That's simple. But people are overlooking that and they're complicating it. And they're just doing their own thing, and we're not getting any farther anytime soon. So we just have to buckle down, and to get excellent captures like that one, Steve, like other ones out there, you have to do the legwork. It's timing. You have to get out of your chair. You have to get off the couch. You have to do it to get these results. Now, you can do it in your own home. I don't recommend summoning anything or anything like that, people. Come on, I'm not talking about that. You can do an EVP session in your home. Just be careful. Open it correctly, close it correctly, and you'll be good to go. Don't sit there and get scared in the middle of an EVP session and don't close it and walk away, because what did you just do? You left the planchette on the board. Okay, you just opened yourself up for anything coming in there, because that communication circle was never closed. Close it. Make sure you close it. To close it is simple. To close it is very simple. I'm going to end this session now. You are not welcome to come with me. Your place is here. You must stay here. I thank you for your time. End session. Something that simple. Closure. Pin it down. Bye. Whatever you want to say, however you want to close that, but make sure you close it. If you leave it open, your client's going to be calling you here in a couple of days, wondering why there's planes flying across the room. Yeah, so just be careful. Use common sense. Use common sense. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of people listen to that, because I wanted to know what was being recited or sung or whatever. And as far as I know, from what some people have said it sounds like a little girl reciting a prayer before going to bed. Something to do with protecting me before I go to sleep, sort of while I sleep. I can't remember it's not the Lord's Prayer, but it's in French, from what I understand.
Really?
Yes, it's in French.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it's in French. And again, looking at the history of the house, there wasn't anybody that lived there that was French. So, which is even mind-boggling, even more mind-boggling. Why would there be somebody reciting something in French that had not? So, could it then be tied to perhaps maybe an object in the house? Because from what I understand, what I know, a lot of the objects are historical in the house, but aren't they weren't original to the house. They were brought in to sort of just give you a picture. It's a museum, and these pieces were brought in to give you the impression of what it was like to live in this particular farmhouse at the turn of the century. So a lot of the paintings, a lot of the furniture, a lot of the pieces that are in this place were brought in from other areas. So, I mean, could that be the catalyst? Quite possibly, because it certainly doesn't ring true to the people who lived in the house. So, which makes it even more intriguing.
You know what era it was from? Immigrants, maybe? You know what era?
The house?
Yeah.
1899. It was built in 1899. And the people that are original to the house were English. And as far as I know, up until the last people who lived in the house before it was turned over to the province, was they were all English. There was no French. At first, I thought it might have been German, but no, not German. But I had somebody who's well versed in French, in the French language.
So that sense that it was attached to an object then.
Most likely. Yeah, most likely.
And that could be, an object could be something as simple as a Bible.
Yeah.
It really could.
Yeah.
There's a gentleman, he's still out there. He's a little scarce to find these days. His name's Richard, and he is an amazing individual. And what he does is takes these haunted objects like that, and he has a seer that he gives them to and works with. And the impressions that come off of these objects are incredibly accurate as well. He's done it with tank couplings from the World War II and so forth. And images come forth, and that's the exact location they were found. Just crazy stuff like that. So objects can hold that kind of energy, I believe. You walk into an antique store, tell anybody that's walked through an antique store and did not get the heebie-jeebies, open your mind. Open your mind.
Exactly.
And walk through an antique store. They scream out at you. Tables, lamps, chairs. These things are comfortable to people. They're known to people that have passed, maybe, and maybe they residually they're just stuck there. Who knows? But something like that, Steve, having a residual capture like that is rare. It's extremely rare.
Yep.
And it needs to be researched. It needs to be put, by a group of peers and so forth. That's what we need to have, is something like that to help decipher some of these. Because you could probably take that file, you could slow it down using Audition, for example, syllable by syllable. The problem with doing that. Sure, you can do it. We could take it and slow it down, but that increases the pareidolia effect.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So it's tough. And, you have to do it in bits and pieces. Write this down. Bits and pieces. Write this down. Oh, it's fun. But you get some kind of message from it. Now, people these days would just take that file, Steve, drop it in AI. Oh, that's what it says.
Exactly.
No, don't do that. Don't. You're taking the essence away from the whole thing. That particular file that was just played is a classic residual capture, I think. And it's one that is gold in this community because those are so rare. And it's one that carries a tune, no pun intended. And having that in your possession, Steve, I mean, that's a book in itself. That's a book in itself.
Yeah. It's
to capture that because you have the video proof. You captured this thing on a video high 8, which
digital high 8, yeah.
The magnetic tapes, I'm telling you folks, there's something about them. I'm not saying they're the end all be all, but they do increase your results. And the video cameras, I have one. It's a high 8, and I still have the tapes for it are expensive. But the captures you get on those are so clear. They're so very clear.
Absolutely.
And then you have the video proof to go with it. So it just increases the credibility. So what you have there, Steve, is something extremely credible and rare because you have the video to back it up and you have its original source. You haven't altered it. You just turned it up. Come on.
Just amplified it. That's all it did. Yeah.
That's why we're all here. It's why we're all here doing what we're doing. Some of us spend years doing this and never get a thing. Some do this for 10 minutes and they'll pick up something like that. It depends.
Yeah.
It depends. It comes down to timing. It comes down to intention. It's just, man, what an awesome capture though. Good job.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Well, we're just about out of time here, but you know what, Todd, get your info out there, and any last words to everyone who's watching and who will be watching the archive.
Yeah, I love those. I love archives. Yeah. Hey, get a hold of me, evpexplorations.com, evpexplorations.com. That's the website to go. You guys can find everything there. You can find a community. You can find articles. You can find courses free. Everything there is free of charge for you to learn. Go there. Do this. Take advantage. Blow the server up, please. And be sure, grab the books. You can get them on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, the Haunted Voice series. Just search the Haunted Voice. They should come up, and you can get those, purchase those there. Much appreciated. All proceeds from those books do go back into EVP Explorations to fund that beast. And you guys can get a hold of me on the website. I'm no longer on Facebook, but you can find me on Instagram under Todd Bates EVP. You can find me on TikTok, Todd Bates 1973, and YouTube, EVP Explorations. That's about all I use, folks. Saving a lot of time without Facebook. Really helped me out. It's really helped me out. But that's how you can get a hold of me, folks. I'd love to hear from you. Love to hear from you.
Well, Todd, it's been a blast, and thanks for coming on. I can't believe we haven't had you on in the past. It's just
anytime, man.
And we would love to have you back. We would,
yeah,
absolutely.
Sure. Yeah, and I can't wait. I'm going to get you on my show too, guys. So it's happening. It's coming.
Sounds good.
That's scary, though, Todd. That's scary.
School EVP. Play some of these samples you have too. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome, Todd. You take care. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. And guys, go visit Todd. I've got all the links in the description and again, pinned to the top of the chat. It's been a blast. Take care, my friend. And we'll see you all next Sunday night. Later.
Good night, Todd.
Good night.
Night, folks.